Hello, fellow YouTubers. So now that I've already done my introduction video, I am going to do a topic video now. So I personally suffer from many different mental health disorders we will go over in future videos. However, I want to discuss the most common of all mental health disorders. The most commonly diagnosed would be anxiety and depression, or just anxiety, or just depression. Now, these two are most commonly diagnosed together because how can I put this? You kind of can't have one without the other. Okay, so it's almost like your anxious thoughts cause you to be depressed, if that makes sense. Now, to a normal person, this might not really register. This might not make too much sense because they don't have the brain we have. They haven't been, I don't want to say they haven't been through stuff, but they definitely don't quite grasp what it can be like when your brain is sitting there telling you feel something, whether there's a reason for you feeling that way or not. Sometimes there can be a reason. Sometimes there isn't, and sometimes the reason can just be minute. It could be pointless to a normal person. It could be, just not worth stressing over to a normal person. But you know what? Regardless of what it is, if it's a chemical imbalance or a situational, I hope you all know the different forms of depression. Now, I'm feeling that, now I'm not a psychiatrist, I am not a psychologist, I just have a lot of experience in the field, personal experience. I've dealt with mental health disorders since I was age 15, and then I decided, because the way my father raised me, he raised me to always ask questions and always want to learn, and always, he taught me to have a very investigative mind. Now, I don't know if that's why I do, or if I just naturally have a very investigative mind. Now, that being said, after I got diagnosed with depression at age 15, and it was just clinical depression back then, I wanted to know everything I could about it and what it could lead to further along the road, because that's a young age. I was kind of shocked that I had a mental health condition at the age of 15 when my life should be great. I should be living life, hanging out with friends, being happy. But little did I know, it was going to snowball. And had somebody taught me the things that I'm going to teach you guys about these different mental health disorders that we're going to go through, I would have been so much better off. And had I known the dangers that are out there in the world, I mean, sociopaths to narcissistic personalities, to gaslighters, to abusers, to human traffickers. I mean, there's so many different rapists and murderers. There's so many different dangers out there. It's easy to get wrapped up in anxiety over it all. Now, I will go ahead and share my full diagnoses with you guys, but we're not going to cover them all in this video. I suffer from major depression, along with anxious tendencies, PTSD, Borderline personality disorder is my most prevalent besides my major depression and my PTSD. Those do cause issues with insomnia. I do also suffer from ADD, so when I'm explaining things, I might cycle, try to keep up. I'm sorry if you get confused. You can always shoot me a direct message on Twitter and ask me to further explain something, and I will be glad to do so. There's always a roundabout way to re-explain something, just with different words. So, that being said, depression and anxiety, most common diagnosed conditions, mental health wise. So, depression can be a multitude of things. It can be situational, it can be seasonal, it can be clinical, it can be major, it can be chronic. It could be anything. Maybe you never feel happy. Maybe you only feel sad when it's dark and gloomy and cold outside. Or maybe you're just depressed because CSB took your kids and you don't know what to do and you don't understand why. Maybe a boy broke your heart and you're depressed over that. There's just so many things. Now, anxiety, it can be worry, it can be fear, it can be caused from trauma, it can be a multitude of things as well, and then it can be social, it can be... Okay, where were we? So, we were at the part where I was explaining the different types of anxieties. Now, be that as may, whatever your issue, there's always ways to help with the mind with medication, therapy, different forms of therapy, especially if you've been through trauma. I just found out there's new different reprogramming your mind kind of therapies. I'm still studying on that. But bottom line is, this is where I'm at in my studies. The brain is a complex thing, but not so complex at the same time. So, if you find that you're dwelling on things all day long, every day, that you shouldn't be dwelling on, that you can't do anything about, well, try this, okay? Try to retrain your brain. First of all, if it's negative thoughts, every time you get a negative thought, replace it with a positive. If the thought I'm having is, oh my gosh, this boy broke my heart, I'm never going to find anyone to love anywhere near as much as I loved him. Yeah, you might not, but you can always have children, you can always adopt, you can always volunteer, get a pet. You know, you can find many different ways to feel love and give love. If your issue is the negative thought you're having is that you'll never be good enough, or you have low self-confidence, try daily affirmations. They work wonders. I'm telling you, putting the information out into the universe can bring that to you. Not only that, but you're brainwashing yourself. When you're looking in the mirror and you're saying, I am beautiful, I am strong, I am a survivor, that's when the change really begins. Now, the new thing I just am now currently testing out on myself is how to retrain the habits that you want to have. And so in the habits that you want to have, and you don't know quite how to get there, which has been my issue for a very, very, very long time. And if somebody would have told me this over a decade ago, I'd be in. Okay, so let's start with this, with me showing you guys how I'm putting these ideas and aspects into play. Okay, giving you guys examples. You kind of turn it into your own thing. You can go ahead and alter it, edit it. Go ahead, shoot me a Twitter message, or shoot me a message and or comment and let me know how these things have worked for you, or different things that have worked for you, maybe different topics you want to discuss, different ideas you want me to try and then talk about on my YouTube. I mean, I want this channel to be about an everlasting friendship where I teach you, you teach me, we all learn together and become better people together. All right. So for my routines that I'm trying to make into habits. Now, we do know the corona's going on. There is going to be a video I'm going to make directly after this one addressing the president's speech about the corona update on April 10th, 2020. Because I can't keep quiet about it anymore, and I'm just so frustrated. But we'll get into that later. So, as we know, nobody's working right now unless it's essential personnel. So, these are things that I want to keep habits of doing every day, whether I'm working or I'm not. So, routines I want to turn into habits. Every morning and night, I will be doing these. I'm going to be doing morning affirmations first, morning meditation after that, then morning yoga, then morning journaling. Now, the journaling in the morning is really to check in with yourself and how you would like to see your day going. Okay? Now, yoga is really good mixed with meditation. Doing both of those, very important things, because not only are you remaining flexible, I don't know what kind of health conditions you guys have, but for me, it's all about keeping the body moving, stretching, feeling your chakra and your aura connect. Now, then I do all of those in reverse. At night, I journal to reflect on the day. I then do yoga to relax my body. I do meditation to calm my mind, and then I do affirmations to brainwash myself and put into the atmosphere and the universe what I would like to see happen. Okay? And then make next day checklist. And then what I like to do is I like to fall asleep to a guided meditation on something I want to brainwash myself with during the night while I sleep. Whether it be inner strength, whether it be wealth, whether it be health and happiness, positive thinking, the list goes on and on. You can YouTube guided meditations, and I mean, they go anywhere from 10-minute to hours and hours long. So it can play while you're asleep, and you can even set it to repeat over and over and over. So those are my routines I'm trying to turn into habits that I can continue once I'm back working again. Now, next I will go over the hobbies, the things I want to do to improve myself as a person. So we'll get to that. Hey guys, we're back. So the non-routine to-dos every day that I feel will make me a better person, make me progress in life, just overall make me feel good and happy. Kind of like hobbies. I want to do 1 to 2 hours a day. Now, the length of time, it can be varied depending on how busy of a day I have. Now I've been focusing a lot of my time on trying to find a substantial income at home. So I've been focusing a lot on work at home jobs because of this corona stuff. But once I'm calmed down a little more from that, I want to study a foreign language. I want to learn coding. So I want to learn how to be a programmer in every sense of the word. I want to know all of the different programming softwares and know everything about programming so that I can start doing that from home in case this pandemic lasts or things get worse. Then, as you know, I have started this YouTube channel. Not necessarily for an income generating, but just to maybe get my voice out there. I feel I have a lot to offer the world, and I feel I may be able to help a tremendous amount of people. And I know this YouTuber thing is a big deal these days. So, hey, why not give it a go with all this free time I got? And I'd like to write a few books. I want to help people. I want to write fiction books. I have a very large imagination, and I've always loved writing. So why not? Just kind of something fun to do. I really want to get back into painting. I was thinking about doing like paint by numbers acrylic, and then like once it's complete, sell it. Because what am I going to do with it? Have all these paintings around my house? Nah, that'll just get cluttered. So you might as well sell it so other people can enjoy your own artwork. And even if it's a paint by numbers, you can really make it your own. You can really make it creative if you want. I do a lot of needlepoint. I do a lot of artwork. I love artwork. And I then found these books. Now, for those of you that don't know, I am staying in a shelter. I have suffered repeated domestic violence, maybe not necessarily of the recent kind, but I have suffered violence done to me by people that I trusted, family members, friends, boyfriends. So the most recent one, please don't think I'm talking about you. I'm not putting nothing out there like that. My most recent ex was very good to me, and he had never put hands on me. So we'll just say I'm not putting no business out there. Okay, anyways, but regardless of the fact, I've had a lot of trauma done to me. So I am in a domestic violence shelter. So I found these books today. And I decided to add it to my collection of, I kind of think I want it to be a routine. Like, maybe not morning and night, but like throughout the day routine to do bettering, I want to call it bettering myself homework. Now, the first book I'm working on, and I found it very interesting that I found this, and I do believe that a lot of women in domestic violence situations have a codependency issue because you always see codependency topics in relation to domestic violence. And I think it's kind of like where the captor becomes your hero. You fall in love with your captor kind of thing. I don't remember what that was called, but there's a specific term for it, and I can't think of it right now. Having a brain fart. But let me show you the first book that I'm going to be studying, making notes, learning, things like that is Codependency No More. Oh, and you know what would be so fun? Maybe I'll even do like I'll read a chapter and I'll make a video saying how I felt about the chapter, how it pertained to me, blah, 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 that kind of thing. So every time I finish a chapter, I think that's what we'll do, you guys. This is my Codependency No More. And I understand there's a lot of ebooks out there, but there's nothing better than turning a page in a real book. Real books are just... I grew up in that era where real books were the thing. Ebooks was never even a thought in nobody's mind. So why don't you try those suggestions, y'all? I hope they work out for you. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and please add me on Twitter. Bella_Berber. It's in the description. Please follow me on Twitter. You can direct message me. You can comment on Twitter, comment on here. Whichever you want to do. It was real, y'all. Look for my next video. I'm going to try to do 2 videos tonight. Okay.